Reset. Okay. Hello everybody, welcome. We are going to be talking today about Holy's talents and artifact traits for Legion. These are the data mined as of November 27th, 2015. These are what we initially know. These things are of course subject to change. The sky is not falling since the actual alpha of the game is not out yet. We still have the Demon Hunter zone to go through and things to worry about with that. So this is a first look, first impressions, what I think we're looking on moving towards. Again, this is not set in stone, it's just first impressions. So, that said, let's get into it with the level 15 talents. Trail of Light. When you cast Flash Heal, X% of the healing is replicated on the previous target you healed with Flash Heal. This looks to be pretty good. It looks to be something more of like in 5-mans or with needing like lots of direct healing or maybe shorter fights where you're going to be casting, I guess, Flash Heal more frequently. I know, like, when I 2-healed Iron Reaver, I was casting so much Flash Heal, so having this talent would be, like, super insanely good. But depending on how much Flash we can actually afford to cast and how much we're going to actually be needing to use with Holy Word Serenity to reduce the cooldown, we'll see. It looks decent. During Renewal. This goes back to Serenity Chakra, back when they're still chakras. Your single target healing spells refresh the duration of your Renew on that target. So, if you Flash Heal a target that has Renew, their duration gets refreshed. Pretty good talent, but not really good enough with what else is in the tree. It, again, is just more of like a comfort zone for those who liked the idea of chakras or liked the benefits that they gave to chakras. It's similar to the Penitent for Discipline, where it allows you to have defensive penance. It's something that has been replaced, it's been moved over, but they add it as a talent for those who really like it. Personally, I think it's going to be awful compared to the other two, where you're not going to be casting this, you're not going to be micromanaging your renews enough to make it matter. So, we don't even know how much you're going to be casting Renew with how many, with the synergy with the Holy Words, and the fact that Renew doesn't offer any synergy with Holy Words, so we'll see what happens. Enlightenment, you regenerate mana 20% faster. With Spirit being gone, this is ridiculously good. Like, ridiculously good. This could be the answer that Holy's had to like their thirst for mana, because really frequently they've always needed so much mana to be able to cast their direct healing spells. So much so that they're really dependent on Spirit and high levels of Spirit and items like Demonic Phylactery to actually get value out of it. So, now that this is in the game, well, we think it's going to be in the game for Legion, I'm very much looking forward to it. And it really solves that problem of, can I even afford to cast Prayer of Healing? Is it even worth for me to cast Prayer of Healing? Because now that Serendipity's changed, it's no longer a cost reduction to Prayer of Heal. So, you have the full cost of Prayer of Heal every single time you cast it, which is a lot. It's 8% of your mana. So, it's going to solve some of that. It'll probably be what you'll be taking in raids the entire time. Maybe Trail of Light for 5-mans because you can drink, for challenge modes because you can drink. I don't see Enduring Renewal seeing much use at all. So, mobility talents, similar to Discipline, you have Desperate Prayer for when you need no mobility, and then you have your Feather, same as usual. Now we have Path of Light. Your Levitate is no longer cancelled by damage and causes the target to move 15% faster, but the duration is reduced to 30 seconds. Sounds kind of cool, but I personally don't even have Levitate bound. I like spell book it when I go like falling out of the sky. So usually I die, but that's not the point. I don't really see this being that used. Feathers is super strong. Desperate Prayer when you don't need to move at all. Fight dependent. Again, we're going to crowd control talents. We need to dominate mind something. You dominate their mind. Shining Forge is a knockback and a slow. And then your Chastise is now a stun. Depends on what you need for the raid. I'm pretty glad there's Void Tendrils removed. And, you used Void Tendrils like maybe on Iron Maidens, I think. I don't think there's any other fight that I had to use it for in an actual raid. Light of the Naru, level 60 talents. We have Light of the Naru. Serendipity reduces the cooldown of the appropriate holy word by an additional 2 seconds. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what Serendipity does now, it is now a cost reduction, or sorry, it's a cooldown reduction to whatever spell that you are already casting. So if you're trying to reduce the holy word Serenity, you do that by casting Flash Heal and Heal. If you'd like to reduce Sanctify, you do that by casting Prayer of Healing. So, it increases the cooldown reduction of it. Every time you cast Flash, Heal, or Prayer, you reduce the cooldown of the respected Holy Word by 6 seconds. Now, with Light of the Naru, it makes it 8. Pretty good. Can't complain. This has really good synergy with another talent later on, which is Binding Heal. If it is still the same, if it's still like a flat 2 seconds to everything, right? That could be super, super strong. Guardian Angel, this looks amazing for progression, like really, really good. When Guardian Spirit expires without saving the target from death, reset its cooldown at 60 seconds. As you guys know, Guardian Spirit is a 3-minute cooldown. I believe it's still 3 minutes. Still 3 minutes. And then it puts a very large healing increase on them. If that target receives a killing blow, it absorbs the killing blow, puts them to 40% health. But if you're also facing one-shot mechanics, so if, for instance, if you're trying to soak the Black Hole on Zoldarak, that deals like 900,000 damage. You Guardian Spirit yourself, you run into it, and then the Guardian will just absorb all the damage, and your health doesn't move. So those are 2 ways that it works. But if it does not save the target, and you just have that flat healing increase on it, nice cooldown reset, can be very, very good for progression. But it is very much put into the shadow by Hymn of Hope. Hymn of Hope used to just increase everyone's max mana and regen a little bit of mana. It would be nice because you get to use things like Divine Plea, I think it was, for Holy Paladins, because that was based on your max mana. So you would wait for the Hymn of Hope and then you Divine Plea with that. But this Hymn of Hope makes all healers in your party or raid within 40 yards to cast spells for no mana while you're channeling for 12 seconds. Now, if that's a 12-second channel, you are not gaining any benefit personally from this talent. You are just boosting everybody else to cast everything for no mana. Keep that in mind. So why would you take this talent? Because it's amazing utility. Like, holy utility, Batman. Utility's been something that, like, Holy's been misunderstood for or just generally lacking for a long time. So when you give Hymn of Hope to Holy Priests, it's ridiculous. Even if there's that huge channel. You can't worry too much about it because we haven't seen any of the fights, but if you're going to be in something like Hans and Franz where you need to move every half second, this is obviously garbage, right? And you would never take it. But if you're in a fight where you could just sit there and tunnel the entire time, or you're encouraged to stand still, kind of like certain phases of Tyrant Valari, you know, hey, just stand still, easy, you know? So, amazing utility, like really awesome off-the-charts utility. Super happy it's a talent. And there's that big punishment factor to it where you have to channel this thing for 12 seconds. So it actually does have some kind of synergy with Enlightenment because of the fact that your mana is regenerating faster and you're not casting anything while you're channeling Hymn of Hope. So you're regenerating a ton of mana. This can really encourage you to be very aggressive with burning through your mana because, well, you have 12 seconds of regen. You know, that's pretty good. Moving on to 75 talents. Surge of Light, same proc chance as we know, up to 2 charges. Free Flash Heal, very good synergy with Serenity. Binding Heal, I hate that it's a talent. Just give it to us baseline, pretty please. This time it triggers Serendipity, reducing the cooldown of both Holy Words by a reduced amount. I believe it said 3 seconds instead of the 6, but if it works, if Light of the Naru is a flat 2 seconds, it goes 5 seconds with each Holy Word, which is awesome. Which is awesome. I don't know if this actually going to happen or not, but it's cool. And then finally, you have Piety. Prayer of Mending triggers Serendipity, reducing the cooldown of Holy Word Sanctify by 6 seconds. Excuse me. That looks okay. I don't think it's big enough because of the fact that Prayer of Mending is a 10-second cooldown, so it looks like if you're frequently casting like Binding Heal and Prayer of Healing, you're going to get maybe a 30 to 45 second cooldown out of Sanctify just by casting those in and of itself, but you'll get maybe 2 or 3 Prayer of Mending casts because Prayer of Mending is a 10-second cooldown, so you'll get maybe 2 or 3 of those Prayer of Mending casts in the meantime. So it reduces it like a little bit, but you know, at best it'll reduce it by 18 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. So It's okay. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's better than Binding Heal. I don't think it's better than Surge. I would say it would depend on how much you need to access both your holy words. Likely very frequently. The 3% of base mana is not much at all. I would say you probably would be taking Binding Heal most of the time, but it's close with Surge. I think it's very close with Surge. Piety needs more of a cooldown reduction, I would say. If you're taking Piety and Light of the Naru, it could be a little bit better, but Light of the Naru also synergizes better with Binding Heal. So, my choice at the moment, very strict moment, without seeing any kind of fights, without having no experience even playing, be Binding Heal. Well, no experience playing in Legion, obviously. So, Surge of Light's very, very close. The immediate cooldown reduction that you get out of having the flashes, just Surge Divine Star, flash, 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 is insane for cooldown reduction for Serenity. Imagine trying to top off Touch of Harm targets on Tyrant Valari with Surge, Divine Star, and your Holy Word Serenity. You just top that thing off instantly. It's amazing. So, Surge Light's really good. I think Binding and Surge are very, very close. But having the double dip into both Holy Words is super good as well. So, stay tuned. I think there's going to be some really stiff competition between the two, depending on how good Sanctify will be and if Serenity lives up to the hype that has been given as the strongest single target heal in the game. So, we shall see. 90 talents. Divinity. When you heal with a Holy Word spell, your healing is increased by 20% for 8 seconds. Pretty basic talent. Looks very good. You could sort of like Serenity and then Sanctify immediately afterwards to get a really big AoE heal. Has very, very good synergy, which what we'll see in a second with Apotheosis. So, generally good talent. We'll see how it fares up against Divine Star and Halo. I really like it, but it also very much is mana expensive, very, very pricey, because you have to be casting constantly to reduce the cooldown of your holy words. So you're casting Flash Heal, you're casting Prayer of Healing, you're casting... Well, you probably won't be casting Heal, you probably just be spamming Heal, or spamming Flashes and Prayer Healing. So it takes a lot to reduce the holy words, but if you're reducing them quite frequently, you can extend this buff for a very long time, especially if you synergize it with Apotheosis, especially if you synergize it with Light of the Naru. So if you're going like a full selfish build, you could do something like Enlightenment, Light of the Naru, Divinity, Apotheosis, and you are like burning through your mana like insanely quick. Obviously it depends because there's no spirit, so you can't stack more spirit to do this. But wow, like the potential for mega burst healing and just wide scale healing from your holy words, it'd be really cool. Really, really cool. We'll see what actually happens, but Divinity's awesome. Divine Star, same as usual. Same thing, I got a minor spell power buff. Not much to say here, you know. Very good synergy with Surge of Light, of course, which makes even more synergy with Serenity. So, not bad. Halo, also got a minor spell power buff, but it also had a wording change, very important wording change. Creates a ring of Halo or Holy Energy around you that quickly expands to a 30-yard radius, healing allies for whatever. There used to be a little blurb in there that says with maximum effect at 25 yards or 30 yards, maximum distance, right? So you'd have to be the maximum distance of your Halo to get the maximum effect. But now that wording's been taken out, I assume, a very big assumption, that you don't have to worry about that. So you're getting the maximum effect of Halo regardless of where you hit the target. So it could mean, oh, well, everybody's stacked, so I could just take Halo anyway, and it doesn't really matter. Possibly, but it depends on how they balance Divine Star with that as well, so that they need to make it so that Divine Star is the superior heal when you're stacked up, as opposed to Halo. So, just a little blurb. It's pretty interesting. I'm very excited that they finally did that, because the micromanaging can get kind of tedious. Alright, Apotheosis. I called it! I called it, alright? Got that out of the way. Yes, finally! Pure Holy Form for 30 seconds, increasing the effect of Serendipity by 200%. So instead of the 6-second cost reduction from casting Flash, Heal, or Prayer of Healing, it's now 18 seconds, which is awesome! It is awesome! The burst healing that you do with this, combine it with Divinity, like, wow. The only problem is that there's not any, at least from this impression, you're not going into Spirit of Redemption form, so everything isn't free. So your spells still cost mana, but that probably would have made it ridiculously OP. And you probably can't activate it by killing yourself and going into Spirit of Redemption form. Maybe you could activate Apotheosis, immediately kill yourself, and then the buff would still last while you're in Angel form, so you could just spam the hell out of stuff. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know if that's really what I would ever advise anybody doing ever, but it's cool. It's really cool. I'm very excited. It's 3-minute cooldown. I'm okay with this. I'm excited. Have I mentioned I'm excited? Oh, man. It may not even be the best talent, though, in all situations. Because of the fact that it's a 3-minute cooldown, and because of the fact that it's like very large, wide-scale burst healing, and it's... The best thing about this talent is it's similar to Paladin Wings, but it's not Paladin Wings. Whereas Paladin Wings is like just a heal increase, this just empowers you to use other healing spells more. You know, your healing isn't a flat percent increase. It's just like you can cast more stuff. You know, you get an 18-second cost reduction out of casting Flash, Heal, or Prayer of Healing, and now you're able to access your Holy Words more, and now you're able to get the heal increase out of Divinity more. So, super good. Super, super good. Benediction. Your Prayer of Mending has a 30% chance to leave a renew on each target it heals. So, you have a 5 charge of Prayer of Mending, right? So, likely you'll get, what, 1.5, 2 renews on each target? Or 2 renews out of every palm you cast. It's okay. I think it could be very good on very long fights, but keep in mind, you had a ton of Prayer of Mendings that you gained out of having the Words of Mending talent, which of course is not here. So losing that, I don't think this talent is going to be as strong, unless there's some kind of set bonus synergy that really increases your Prayer of Mendings. But I hope we don't get that, because that's all of our set bonuses of the entirety of Warlords of Draenor was about Prayer of Mending set bonuses. So I don't think Benediction is going to be too strong. It's interesting, for sure. I don't think it's the best, though. Circle Healing. Everybody loves Circle Healing. It's super, super good. Very amazing. There's been no spell power change. The glyph has been removed, so it's the same. So it goes back to the same mana cost, the baseline mana cost, and it's still 5 targets instead of 6 targets, which it is if you glyph it. Overall, like a good talent, but it's not as good as everybody's going to initially think it is, because with the cooldown reduction of being in Sanctuary Chakra today in Warlords of Draenor, it's about 6-7 second cooldown, something like that, if you're constantly casting and you're not casting anything that has, like, it's past the GCD. So you're getting way more use out of Circle Healing than you will be getting out of using Circle Healing in Legion. So keep that in mind. Take that with a grain of salt when you're looking at this talent, is that it's not as good because you cannot reduce the cooldown of it. So, still a very good talent. I don't know if it's going to match up to Apotheosis. It may turn into something like, if there is wide-scale constant damage, you will Circle Heal. If there is very small points of very, very heavy damage, you'll Apotheosis, you know. If Divinity turns out to be as super insane, paired up with Apotheosis, could be very good. But you also have to keep in mind how good Halo and Divine Star are. So, it's a bit of a tall order. Holy has a lot of potential to just be a huge wide-scale burst. Burst, burst, burst. You know, this could be really good. This could be really good. This is Light of the Nara is very. It's like a selfish talent, and I know that sounds kind of bad, but it is. Hymn of Hope for your entire raid is ridiculously good. It's ridiculously strong. If you're trying to parse, that's not the talent to take, because you're sitting there for 12 seconds doing nothing. But if you're trying to actually kill a boss for the first time, or the second time, or something like that before it's on farm, Hymn of Hope is life-saving across the entirety of your raid. Even if you have a second Holy Priest, imagine double Holy Priest, guys. You have them taking Binding, Heal, Divinity, Apotheosis, Light of the Naru, Enlightenment, Angelic Faith, or Angelic Feather. Feather actually doesn't matter. And they're hymning, and you're able to cast while they're hymning. You go Apotheosis, and then you just bomb heals everywhere. Be awesome. And then you Hymn of Hope for them later on. That'd be cool. So, be really, really cool. But Hymn of Hope's your progression talent. Light of the Naru just doesn't do quite enough, and it doesn't really benefit the rest of your raid, you know? If they're going back to having a full 5 healers, which a lot of people have been pushing for in Mythic raiding, because you want to have a healer group. You don't want to have any pleb DPS in your healer party. At least I don't, you know? Then boosting 4 other people so they can cast things for no mana for 12 seconds on a 5-minute is super good. Super, super good. And it lets them regen. It lets them do a ton of regen. Because, you know, not only are you regenning because you're not casting anything, but they're casting spells that are free, and they're regenning mana. So, very, very good. Very, very strong. I'm very, very hyped up for Holy. I like where it's going, where it's getting very defined. Even though it's still a versatile healer, it has more of defined, this is what we're really good at. This is what we can really do. So, I like it. I'm looking forward to it. And now, we have our artifact. Tuur Turi, Beacon of the Naru, something like that. Here we start with Invoke the Naru. When you use a Holy Word spell, you have a chance to summon an image of Curry at your side. For 15 seconds, whenever you cast a spell, Curry will cast a similar spell. So it's kind of like a shadow dance. No, it's kind of like a reflect that rogues have. I think monks have something similar where it'll just copycat whatever you casted. So actually a lot of people have had that. I think shamans had the same thing too with one of their set bonuses. This has been done before. It's kind of cool. No complaints. Just a nice little trait. We have Reverence. Increases the healing of Flash and Heal by 6%, then by 10%, by 13%. Yeah, not bad. Faith Barrier, damage taken reduced by 6%, then by 10, then 13. Discipline has the same thing. Holy Hands. I got some Holy Hands. Increase the healing of Renew by, what, 6, 10, 13%. While Divine Hymn is active, your targeted healing spells also apply Renew to the target. This is awesome. This is really cool, actually. It's something you kind of like have to train yourself to do. So you have to. I wonder if it works with Binding Heal. That's my only question. If it works with Binding Heal's probably going to be your mandatory talent. Because right after Divine Hymn, you have like an 8-second window, I believe, to be just spam Binding Heal over and over and over again, and you're healing all these targets. Because Binding Heal, which I forgot to mention, does heal that third friendly target, so it does have the glyph baked into it. So you could be tossing Renews out on the entirety of the raid after your Divine Hymn ends. So, super good. Guardians of the Light. Guardian Spirit also applies to yourself when it is cast. Whoa. That's like really good. When we're talking about doing those challenge modes, those 5-mans which have like the equivalent of Halo Skulls, where it doesn't change the content per se, like the mobs are still mobs, but it changes how you have to encounter them. So if they're enraging or they have explosives at their feet when you kill them or something like that, it's gonna be awesome. It's like super good. Or there's ticking damage going on, you know, super, super good. Hallowed Ground reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Sanctuary by 6 seconds, then 10 seconds, then 13. I hope and pray that they mean Sanctify, because if they bring back Holy Word Sanctuary, we're gonna have problems. Just saying. They probably mean Sanctuary. I hope. Ugh. Increases the healing of your Holy Word spells by 6, then 10, then 13%. Yeah, pretty good. Cannot complain. Increases the healing of Prayer of Healing by 6, 10, 13%. You know, baseline, nice little buffs. It, like I said, it's kind of like the Cataclysm and before Cataclysm, the talent trees, where you know you get little points, you spend the points, get nice little buffs. You know, cool. After casting Holy Word Sanctuary, again, hopefully it's Sanctify. Typo. Your Prayer of Healing heals for X% more until cancelled. I don't understand what the cancelled part of it is, or whatever, so gonna have to see what that is. You know, not too bad. You know, you just follow it up with a Prayer of Healing. You know, you Sanctify, then you Prayer of Healing right after that. It's pretty good. When an ally drops below 0% health, Kuur heals the target fully. Can only occur once every second, or X seconds. Wow. Okay, this is pretty sick. So, I would imagine for percentages it'd probably be like 20% health. Curry heals the target fully. Can only occur once every, let's say, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, you know. I like this a lot because you can kind of lean on your artifact to be healing for you when you're in trouble. So I think it's really, really cool. You'll be able to be like, oh, okay, I'm taking really intense damage on 2 targets, and I can only heal 1 in this second. So like one's at 35% and dropping, one's at 45% and dropping. You heal the 45% because you know that your artifact will top off the guy once he drops to 20% or something like that. It'd be really cool. So I like it. I want to. Hopefully, we'll actually have like a cooldown tracker for this, be it through a weak aura or something similar. That's what I really hope for. So we'll see what happens. Did they remove Lightwell? I don't think so. I do not believe so. They did remove Lightwell. Whoa. Hang on. Did they really? I do not see a Lightwell. And hopefully I'm not blind. Class abilities. D-Star, Echo Light, da-da-da. Doesn't look like we have Lightwell anymore. I guess I'm okay with this, actually. I didn't even think about this. Good call. All-knowing Twitch chat. Is donezo. Alright. I can't complain. This is like a way better Lightwell. It just tops them off. You know? And it was really good. If you ever did Blackhand, right? Blackhand, you have the floors constantly collapsing. You would have to throw down your Lightwell a minute before you pulled. And then you would have to hope that your DPS doesn't push it until your Lightwell dissipated or whatever, because then you have to wait to put it down on the next floor, and then you fall through that floor and you have to put it down on the next floor. So if you ever get phases like that, or you ever get fights like that, it really sucked for Lightwell, because Lightwell just hits spears, any kind of interdimensional phases and stuff like that where it moves the entire raid. So I can't really complain. It was always like a minor part of your healing. I'll kind of miss it because I used it to like lean on it when I was soaking Doomfires and Archimon. So Serenity now. Ooh, baby. Increase the critical strike chance of Holy Word Serenity by 20%. That's pretty good. If you guys remember, 20%, well, when it crits, it's supposed to fully top off the target. 100% heal of their max HP. So, very good. Say your prayers. Prayer of Mending has a 15% chance to not consume a charge when it bounces to a new target. And then it goes all the way up to 25% chance. That is really, really good. Like, really good. 1 in 4 chance whenever it bounces anywhere else. So, you have 5 charges, and every single time it's like a 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 to not consume any charges. And that charge that you gain, per se, because you don't lose that charge, goes on to the next one where it's like, oh, you have 5 charges, and then it doesn't consume, and then it goes to the next target. So you have another 1 out of 4, so you're really going to get a lot of palms out of it. You're really going to get a ton. This is a super good talent, or super good trait. Trust in the Light. Leap of Faith heals your target for 10%, 15%, 20% over 6 seconds. I'm pretty excited about using Grip and be like, hey, I gotta heal you. Just like pull the melee to you, just pull them out of melee every single time. I'm pretty amped up about that. The melee maybe not so much, but I'm excited. It'll be great with tanks. Tanks will love it. When Prayer of Mending bounces to a target with your Renew on it, the target will instantly be healed for X% of a Renew tech. This one's okay. I don't think this one's super good. It's just amplifying already a Renew tick. I think Warlocks have something similar in like a Trinket, one of the legendary things, where it'll like... No, I think Shadow does. Where it starts adding the damage of your ticks to like happen immediately or something. So, yeah. It's interesting. It's alright, Blessing of Curry. I think his name's Curry. I don't know. When you critically heal a target with heal or flash heal, the Heart of Curry has a chance to imbue you with its power, resetting the cooldown of all Holy Word spells and increasing your healing by X% for 12 seconds. Yes! Thank you! Okay. Keep in mind, to get to this talent, this is the end of line, I think. Yeah. You have to you could do the breakneck pace to go all the way up here, assuming it's like a linear path that you don't have to have like X power to get to this one and this one and this one, or you have to go all the way around. This looks like the last thing that you're gonna get, right? Holy crap, this is really good. Like, really, really good. This makes like Divinity Apotheosis super good. Super, super good. I love it. I absolutely love it. You just get like oh, I just used all my spells and Apotheosis is about to end. Boom, it just resets. Like, let's go, you know? And it's going to make crit super good for Holy Priests once you get that upgrade point. So it may even turn into something like you will want more haste, and then it'll be like Mastery crit after that in your stats. Once you get the Blessing of Curry, be like, boom, crit, let's go, baby. I'm excited. Just think about that. It's just amazing. It has a chance to imbue you with its power, resetting all the cooldowns, you know? Like, Flash is going to be an integral part of your healing. Heal maybe as a filler or something like that. It might have competition with, like, Renew as a filler, but dang, that's good. It's really going to be good. You know? I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited. Like, really excited. They're getting a lot of things where it gives us very strong, like, definition, and even with, like, the lore aspect of it, too, if you think about that. We're getting something where it's Save the Fallen. It's like the Naru are like, hey, we're by your side. And, you know, if you're lazy, we'll just top somebody off for you. Or something like that. I don't know. So, I like it. You know, we got like Big Brother here to help us out. So, I'm excited. Very, very excited. If you guys have any kind of questions, I'd be definitely down to take them now, though. So, I'm not sure what they're going to do with artifact traits in PvP, though. I'm not sure. The one thing I wanted to address, though, was with your healing spells. There's some inconsistencies with things that are instant cast. You look at Holy Nova, it says instant cast. You know, it's always been instant cast, right? They say Prayer of Mending's instant cast. You know, okay, that's awesome if we go back to instant cast. Now they say Prayer of Healing is instant cast. But then they say Hymn of Hope is a 12-second channel. I don't think Prayer of Healing is going to be instant cast. I would be shocked if it was. So there's some inconsistencies here. I would watch out for that. And like I said, it's a first look. This is a first impression. This is just more of my impressions on what I think. So, why are you a Piety hater when you will see the light? Oh my gosh. Piety really does not look that good, honestly. It's just for Prayer of Mending, and it's just the same as Prayer of Healing. So, it's like, okay. But having the double dip out of Binding Heal is insane. I love it. If they make this stronger, like if they make this 12, 15 seconds instead of 6, I'd say be close on par with Binding Heal, I think. I'd probably take it at that point, you know. But it would need a buff. It would need a buff. Because of that 10-second cooldown that like gates it, it really reduces your ability to provide large-scale burst healing on demand. So even in the best of scenarios, you take Piety, you take Apotheosis, right? And you have, you know, you have 3 casts of Palm, best case scenario, where you're getting 18-second reductions out of it. So you're getting 36 plus 18 is like 54, right? God, I'm bad at math. 36 plus 18, right? 50. Boom, we got it. Okay, I can do math sometimes. Who knew? So it's like it's almost a full reduction, but you're gonna be casting other stuff in the meantime. It will be it will be 8 seconds. That's true. If you go full burst mode, it'll be 8 seconds. So it's like 8 and 3, or sorry, it'll be 200% extra. So it's gonna be 24, 48, 92. No. 72, right? Right, I think so. So that'll be pretty good. That does something with him. Divine Hymn looks to be just a regular channel, as usual, but it says instant. So I think this is definitely just going to be the same as usual, same channel, same thing we already know. Healing is increased by 100% when you're not in a raid, so that makes it very good when you're in a 5-man. So the one that synergizes with... where is it? The one that synergizes with Divine Hymn is while your Divine Hymn is active, your target healing spells also apply renewed to the target. So when you hymn today, you have an 8-second window after your hymn to cast stuff for that increased healing bonus. But in addition to the increased healing bonus, you're also getting, you know, you're also applying renew to targets. So you're focusing your idea would be, you know, you want to renew blanket, you want to get your holy words on cooldown to proc divinity, and then you'll hymn. And then right as you get out of that, you know, the renews are falling off targets, so you're just going to spam targets that don't have renew on them. So, yeah. There's potential for Piety. I don't think it's going to be super good, because you have to keep in mind, if you're going to say that Light of the Naru synergizes with Piety, Light of the Naru also synergizes with Binding Heal. And I don't know if it's going to make it so that... I believe it said triggers both Serendipities for 3 seconds instead of 6 seconds. So if it puts it to 5 seconds with Light of the Naru, that's insane. That's like super insane. That's awesome, From. I look forward to the switchover, you know? So, yeah. You thinking of it, Cure? It could be Cure. I'm horrible at pronunciation, so I call them Curry. Overall, I'm really excited about Holy. I'm really excited about Discipline, too. Discipline looks very complex, a lot of things that you have to worry about around you, and a lot of things that you have to micromanage and maintain, like very, very high skill cap, where it could have a super high potential, but it could also be very, very punishing if you're playing it poorly. So, I'm mega pumped. I don't know about you guys. I'm mega pumped.